Hello. Today I would like to share with you one of my favorite games ever made. It quickly rose to the top of my list. It just came out this year in 2016, and it is Inside by Playdead, a developer out of Copenhagen. On my first playthrough of this game, there were at least 3 moments where my jaw absolutely dropped. This game is stunning. Even if you don't enjoy video games, I strongly suggest you check this out because it is gorgeous and dark and just striking. So, let's begin. At the start of the game, we emerge as this young boy out of the woods. There's no intro cutscene. There's no obtrusive UI. At the start, there's no score. It's just our breath, our footsteps, and the wind through the trees. We see this misty forest with these strangely lit pods in the background and a tractor trailer full of people. As we landed there, we snapped a small twig and alerted these masked men with the flashlight. The controls of the game are very simple. You can move forward or back. You can jump and you can interact. That truck rolls on through the background and we seem to have alerted the first dog. This is the first real moment of tension as the light from the flashlight in the distance flickers across the surface of the water. We've been spotted. Note how quickly this dog can close the gap between us on land. Every frame of this game is gorgeous. It's so unsettlingly beautiful. Here's our first bit of score. If you miss these jumps, the men will strangle you and drown you in the puddle. Again, there's no obtrusive UI in this game. There's no breath meter. You know you're about to run out of air because the boy begins to gasp. Here we see some dead pigs at the water's edge. This is going to be a very linear playthrough of the game. I'm not going to be accessing any of the secrets or trying to achieve the second ending. I'm just going to go for the main ending, which is shocking. But if you would like to play the game yourself, which I recommend you do, the first secret can be found in this cornfield that positively dwarfs our character. Here we start to amass our first following of the game, these baby chicks. They're going to help us advance. And it's the first of a recurring theme in this game of a group coming together to propel you forward. And each time you amass a following, usually at least one does not survive the task that moves you forward in the game. This is an important theme here. We're going to start this machine up. And allow the chicks to follow us to the far side of the room. We're going to use them to knock that block off the beam above us. I'd like to make a quick note here. I don't have a capture card at this time, so I had to record gameplay in pretty small chunks. You might notice slight transitions, but nothing occurs between them. The animation is so well done. The boy has to slog through this mud. If you look closely, these pigs are prone to parasites that seem to control them. This is another important theme. Again, that score, that music cue for having figured out how to advance. It's a bit grisly, but removing that parasite allows us to manipulate the pig without being consumed by it. And here's our first mind control puzzle. This gate in the background is too heavy for 2 men to lift, but not too heavy for 4. And the 4 of them together can tear down this wall for us. Behind this door is one of the most beautiful screens of the game, in my opinion. I love this soft morning light. This seems to be where all those people were headed. They're eerily lined up in the background. The way this game slowly unfolds its story is nothing short of compelling to me. I love that you can hear the links of the chain clicking together. And the chirping of the birds in the next room. I cannot say enough about the sound design. Here's another mind control puzzle. We need each of these 2 men in the background to stand upon a plate to open the door to our right. The building we're on now has particular late game significance. But again, we're just going to be running through the main part of the game here, which is more than enough. Almost like a heartbeat below us, we can see now the masses of people slowly advancing towards what seems to be the boys' goal, This room is particularly frightening. We're going to open the entrance to the elevator first. And then return to power up the entire room, and when we do that, these terrifying sentinels will become activated. The score informs you of the stakes and the ensnared bodies in the foreground. Foretell what would happen if you would be caught by those lights. Scrutinized by this spotlight. We have to blend in perfectly. Eerie it is. We're being seemingly judged by what appear to be whole families. The yellow boxes on the ground demarcate where certain behavior is expected. Flashing light shows that my timing was not perfect there. Should you fail this action, you are immediately killed. The snarling dog in the back of the room informs you that you can't stay in this line for much longer. It's time to run. The pursuit isn't over. The trick here is to wait by this ledge for just a moment. Now, as you can see, we have another mind control helmet on, and we're controlling the man above us, pushing the minecart. going to use that man to jump into another helmet. And the music cue informs us that we've moved forward correctly. Now we are controlling the man in the other helmet, who is controlling the man now next to the cart. So we see that this switch is needed to open that door. And our subject can't quite reach it, so we bring the cart back. That's how we advance. I love how sound is softened the moment you plunge into water. This section of dragging this pallet across the water reminds me very much of The Last of Us. We see in this room that the water seals the doors automatically. There's a door that behaves this way on both sides of the room. So we know already that light sources are usually not good for us, and that we don't want to be caught in them. So the foreshadowing of that one coming through the window is quite eerie. That train rumbling past in the background is beautiful in that light. So here we are above just where we were, and we can see would appear to be pens of more downcast individuals being shipped away in the background. Escape through this hatch just in time. Here we appear to be in abandoned tunnels of the transit system that was running beyond us in the previous few screens. But we will see soon that they are not totally abandoned. Dogs are onto us again. We see here that the dog will actually follow us back in the water. So we have to lead him towards this wall and then swim just below him. This will give us just enough room. This bit is fairly nerve-wracking. The game design here is excellent, though, as we were already introduced to these boarded-off entrances near the first lineup of the downcast. So we know that there are 3 planks to pull off to advance. But we have to draw the dogs to either side of the fence in between each plank, or we will be torn to pieces by them. You see a submarine emerge. And as soon as it is safe to pass, we will be taking it. The submarine controls very intuitively the light casts whichever way you're traveling. And we can boost through obstacles like that. I love how this opens up here. Again, the score rewards you for moving forward. And the scale is bleak, yet beautiful. The small red flashing light acts as sort of a cool down to keep you from just bursting over and over. That'll become more important in a moment. The jets behind us look beautiful in the light. You can see that it heats the water. So the rebar in the wall prevents us from moving through it with the submarine, but it's a passage through which we will be able to swim on our own. There you can see our light flickered after the impact. It stays off for a moment now. Trees up against the frosted glass in the background are beautiful. This game achieves such an astounding sense of being in peril. You are just a child, and everything can do you harm. Here we are in more woods, though this seems to be a bit artificial. There are more of those strangely glowing pods. These air boxes with their timed fuses are introduced here, but they will become critical in solving puzzles in the near future. You saw in the foreground there something quite foreboding. I simply call her the girl. I don't know if she has an official name or not. But she is terrifying. To the right we see another door that is controlled by the level of water in the room. I believe it's after 4 gasps. The boy drowns. So, again, we had just enough time there with the water level lowering to meet us. And hopping the submarine is pretty satisfying. This room is nightmarish. If the girl is allowed to approach your submarine, she'll break the glass and drown you in it. But she's only repelled by your light. The light, which, if you remember, fails for a short time after impact. So we have to lock her out here. We begin to hear a powerful sound. Slowly welling up in the distance. What is it that could generate so much force? That could shake the ground and the walls with such purposeful regularity? What could generate this kind of impact? See this display. That seems to count weight of individuals on the plate. Opening this door will allow us into this facility to see what could possibly be generating that kind of force. And I have to say, the following puzzle may be one of my favorite puzzles in all of gaming. This next section was one of the first areas where this game truly shocked me. The sound design, the force, the waves. But first we have to gather a small army again. This time not little chicks, but fully grown people that can weigh down the plate and allow us to continue. So we'll be solving this puzzle in the next episode. This was Inside Part 1. Thank you for watching.